Painting with Menoth John is presented in Super Legitivision. Super Legitivision, the future of podcasting. It's .com.
Hello, I'm
Menoth John.
and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your
miniatures
and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it'll bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, and may the force be with you all. Ladies and gentlemen, you have reached your spoiler-free destination for tonight's shenanigans and tomfoolery and whatnot. I am, of course, your comely host. I am the best-looking guy with a shaggy-ass beard you could possibly find on Twitch/Menoth John. I am Menoth John, and it is your Sunday night extravaganza. And, of course, with me, we have the wind beneath my wings, the co-host with the ho-ho-ho-host. It's the holiday time, folks. John Spencer, ladies and gentlemen.
Heyo.
Oh, listen to those dulcet tones on the headphones of fate.
Yeah, they better be worth it. It took long enough to get them to work.
Little did you know when you were getting headphones, you were also getting an upgraded system and a new sound card and et cetera, et al.
Oh, technology. It's our friend.
It is our friend. It's our motto here. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, you know technology is our friend, and technology doesn't come cheap, John.
No, it doesn't.
Technology is a thing. People charge for it. And so we appreciate your support at the patreon.com/MenothJohn. You know, we haven't had we've actually lost a couple patrons recently, but you know what? It's the holiday time. People have different ways of spending their cash. And, you know, for those of you who have moved on, hopefully you're still listening to the show. We appreciate your support while you were here. And we hope that, that you'll come back someday. And if you are not supporting the show, it would be fantastic if you would. We have some premiums at the $1 level. You get all the exclusive content, which is the pre-ramble and maybe some when we put out lists, we publish those to the Patreon. We also have other things at the $2 level. We give out a sticker. It's a very high fashion sticker that you can put on your car. You can put it on your laptop. I've seen it put on things that I couldn't tell what they were, but they were absolutely fantastic. And then at the $5 level, we give you we send you a mask that says Crony Inner Circle, and with the address of the show in case you forget where you saw the show, and it also is a bottle opener, otherwise known as a knuckle buster, because you can hit people in the knuckles with this, and it's a personal safety device. It's a disguise. It's also a bottle opener. So there you go. It's three premium gifts in one. Awesome stocking stuffers, by the way. If you subscribe underneath several accounts and join all of those accounts at the $5 level, you'll get as many bottle openers as you open. You just have to make sure you pay for a month or so. Anyway, so there you go. Yep, Edifo's in the house. Good to see you, Edifo. And hello to everybody that's in the chat room. You know, John, we have one of the most interactive podcasts out there.
Truth.
Yes, we're more interactive than PewDiePie.
Ugh. I've never even seen one of that guy's videos.
And 1,000 times less irritating. However, he makes millions of dollars a year, and we do fine. We do okay.
Yeah.
But we're not making millions. But that's okay. We could if we had literally millions of subscribers who would give us money. But we don't. So that's okay. We love it. Anyway, we are up to 3 contest entries, John.
3?
3.
Yeah, that makes your chances pretty good, but, man, we'd like more.
Okay, so I don't know that begging is necessarily an awesome thing, but please folks, we would like to put out a nifty little PDF for the patrons where we put in lots of cool lists that are hardcore casual approved, things that make you lists that make you happy, lists that we're not looking for Runes of War, we're not looking for EE, we're not looking for Body and Soul. In fact, nobody's looking for Body and Soul anymore. Thank you, PP. Wait a second. What am I talking about? I am the president for life of Warmachine Hordes. Thank me for getting rid of that list, putting that old back in the back burner right over there. And so look, send them in. PwMinothJohn@gmail.com. So
Absolutely.
All
Get
right.
some more in there. Like to actually have a decision to make when we look at them.
absolutely, because right now, one of the three was also the guy that won the Army Box equivalent, and so he could just be like the guy we send stuff to.
That's right. More and more stuff. Here, have some more stuff.
And to sweeten the pot, we've gone back into the vault and pulled out one of our biggest prizes, which is the Games and Gears Hell Terrain set. It does not come with any demons, but it does come with a very skull-filled linear obstacle. This thing here, which they call a Hell Battlement terrain, and then we have Hell Elevated terrain. It's Hellevated. So there you go. And this is the prize for the awesome of the lists. So send in your lists, and you might get a box of hell. So there you go. Sponsored by Games and Gears, because they sponsor us.
They do.
They do. And the other thing that we want to mention, so PwMinothJohn@gmail.com. Send your lists in there. Put in their hardcore casual list in the subject line so I can find it. And you could win something. Your chances are good right now. 33% chance you could go home with hell.
Well, it'd be 25% chance if you put yours in too.
Right, exactly. It gets worse.
Just math.
It gets worse, but you could be one of the few people that actually do it, in which case it's still a good number. Okay.
Well, if you haven't put in yet, it actually only gets better for you. It just gets worse for everyone else.
Did you know that people enter lotteries every day
That's true.
that have much worse chances than this?
There is not a lottery that has anywhere near a chance as one of our contests.
We're way better than Powerball. We're way better than Powerball. Anyway, so the other thing that I wanted to mention, we talked about that. I wanted to show off some terrain, John.
Mhm.
And I'm going to switch over here to the painting cam. And I wanted to show off some of this really nifty terrain from Tectonic Craft Studios. Folks, if you don't know about Tectonic Craft Studios, then you don't know about Tectonic Craft Studios. The thing about it is that it is made with wood, and it uses laser beams, which is relevant to today's movie that we're going to discuss, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Spoiler free, mind you. They use the lasers in that movie to cut people to pieces. In this one, they use it to cut wood to pieces. And as you can see here, this is a super sweet and totally legit little forest that's in 3 dimensions.
Mhm.
So it starts out life looking like a piece of wood with what looks like it's a little marks on it, but it's actually been burned through, and you just push that stuff through using the power of the soul of an eagle, and you could anoint it with some canary blood if you needed to get it out. And sometimes it's easier to get out than others, but you got to be gentle. You don't want to finesse you have to finesse a bush. That's what I heard. And you don't want to push too hard on the bush, or the bush might break. And you don't want that, because a broken bush is nobody's good. You go off to the hospital then. And then you keep on pushing. Dun, 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 dun. See, I'm making a rap reference. That was Salt and Pepper.
I know.
Because I'm hard like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
so you get a little bush in your hand, and then if you put the bush with other bushes, you get a little bushlet like this. And the cool part, see, it's collapsible. I forgot to glue that part. And then he has these little bases that you can put it on, and it slips through, and you use wood glue, because it's made out of wood. And you put it on there, and then boom, you've got a sweet little train there. And then this stuff paints up like a dream, John. So there's what a hill looks like if I put it on the camera, actually.
Uh-huh.
So
I see it over there.
it started off life as just some round things, and you glue it together. A little bit of the love from the airbrush, and boom, you've got terrain that I'm going to say that it's Painting with Men Author John approved, because there's Moros, and he's kicking it on the hill like he doesn't care, right there. He's waving those swords in the air like he don't care, and he can stand like that. He can have you could have a banshee standing on it. Hi, I'm a banshee for tectonic terrain. I didn't fall over during the making of this advertisement. There, see? There you go. So I highly recommend it, folks. Tectonic Craft terrain. You could buy terrain from people who are nasty and bad people, or you could buy it from Arcadan, who is one of the most awesome people, and then you would have better feelings about yourself. You know, we didn't. You know what we didn't do, John? We didn't do a beverage update.
We did not.
Okay.
I can tell because I still got a shot a Kraken over here.
All right. So on behalf of, I'm going to get back on the face cam here. I'm having a force blow, John. What are you having?
I actually have vanilla Coke and Kraken. Giving that a shot.
Nice. That sounds good, though. The vanillas should complement each other.
That's pretty decent.
Good. So on behalf of John and Tectonic Craft Studios, this force blow is for you. Hey, Ron.
Ron.
Excellent. So I'm going to put this terrain off here to the side. Well, see, I just dropped a piece of that terrain from Tectonic Craft. It did not break.
Well, that's good.
Yep.
I like sturdy terrain because sometimes those really cool pieces, they fall down and they go boom.
Yep. Not this stuff. This shit's legit. It's not falling over. And let's see. What else did I have here? I also wanted to show off real quickly some stuff that I painted up here recently. You saw Moros there briefly before. So Moros is done. This is what my normal paint scheme for my jacks looks like. And Moros, because he's the stealthy jack, I decided to take the same colors and paint it in somewhat of a camouflage type of a look. I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, he looks cool.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of, he's got the little tufts down here. Those are from Army Painter tufts. They're good. And then, let's see. And then also, this is one that I had painted before, but I finally got it sealed today. So, and this is from Rivet Wars. And this is an osprey, not to be confused with an albatross. This is an osprey. You can put little plugs in the top of them. You can put a little Nick Fury plug in this, and then but he's not called Nick Fury, of course. He's called the Man in Charge. And but yeah, this Rivet Wars is a great game. I don't know that there's ever going to be an expansion for it. I think they did everything out of that they're going to do with it. But it's a great little board game if you can find a copy of it. You know, it's a very light beer and pretzels war game. You should try it.
Absolutely. Honestly, you should try all sorts of games. Give them all a shot.
Yeah. The speaking of painting and stuff like that, folks, as you know, as we are wont to do once a quarter, we have a Brushhead gallery coming up, and we will have Shoshi Bauer on for that. Shoshi is one of our favorite people, and she is painting. She just got done painting a Growlar for an upcoming no quarter. And for those who don't know what a Growlar is, that is something you get beer in at a craft brewery in Boston. So I had to put that out there, John, because not everybody listens to the pre-ramble.
Oh, it's fair. I mean, I guess we can't just have that particular gem only for our patrons. We got to share that with everybody.
Oh, I know, right? I mean, who doesn't want to hear about the Growlar? I had a head attack in Boston with a Growlar. I had a Growlar with me. I dropped it. Spilled that beer.
Much better this time, actually.
Spilled that beer all over the place.
Oh, my God.
All right, so there you go.
Oh.
All right, so I see that Fredox mentioned he's got the shirt that I'm wearing, the Make Art Not War shirt that I am wearing with my my BB-8 socks. Hang on, folks. I'm going to put them on the camera.
Put your BB-8 socks on the camera. Oh, boy.
There you go. That was a Loot Crate special this month.
Oh, that makes me kind of sad. I could use some BB-8 socks.
BB-8 socks, they're pretty cool. And so right now, BB-8 is it smells worse than he did in the movie. So there you go, folks. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and flip onto the painting cam here. John, today I'm going to be working on probably working on Doomy 3 here, I think. Because Doomy 3 is a very sweet and totally legit model. And I think what I'm going to start doing... one of the tips that when I was talking to Dallas who's the staff painter for Privateer Press right now. One of the things they talked about was you paint in the order in which you put your clothes on.
Mhm.
And I think that I understand what they're saying. I'm having a few minutes pause with some of the painting on this one because I think I did the skin. Obviously, he puts the skin on first with the white, and then he's got a sash, and then the rest of this stuff is like leather armor. And the thing that I'm struggling with here right now is, do I want to do the leather armor first, or do I guess I should just like kind of fall back to my old way of just kind of going from the inside out kind of a thing.
Well, that's sort of the same thing he's telling you. It's inside out.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to do here, and I think the next thing I'll do then is his kind. He's got like a leather cap on with with like a leather bodice, I guess is how I would describe it. I don't know that anybody this old wears a bodice per se, but all right. Anyway, so
I'm sure there's a word for it.
yeah, we'll come. Yeah, and I'm just the guy to find that word. So let's add bloodstone. I want to do some bootstrap leather, good old fallback bootstrap leather. So John, I hear we've got a holiday coming up this week.
Is it this week? Jesus, I didn't realize it was this week.
Yep.
Sorry, my mind was single focus on something.
Yeah, Christmas, man, it's here. Or if you don't celebrate Christmas, then whatever holiday you want to celebrate on the 25th of December is up to you. But
How about celebrate? You probably got a day off, and you can do whatever you want on it. Go watch Star Wars or something.
man, that sounds like a great idea because the movie theaters are going to be open.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's actually a very popular movie day.
I'm thinking that I'm gonna have both boys. That might be a good day for seeing it for the second time.
Oh yeah,
But
that'd be like the extra special gift for him. Like, oh yeah, here's all your gifts, and we're gonna go see Star Wars.
oh yeah, see my oldest boy went to see it with his school class.
That's legit.
Yeah, he I guess I don't know what exactly why they did that, other than that they wanted to be like super sweet and totally legit. But that's what they did, and so it actually worked out pretty good for me because I didn't happen to have my older boy this week, so I didn't have to try to schedule like time to go see it that would work out good with his mom and stuff like that. So worked out really good. When was the first time you saw the movie?
I saw it Friday at 11:45 because I had to work a half day at work.
Okay, so you saw it in the morning time.
Yeah, sort of morning. It was reasonably packed theater. L. Marshall met me there and bought me my ticket so we could just roll right in, and it was sweet.
That is cool. I saw it this morning at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it worked out. We kind of went with a strategic thing where we were gonna make sure that we were there in case somebody was a complete dick and wanted to spoil it, that we wouldn't hear any spoilers.
That's fair. Yeah, we didn't hear anything remotely like that. I just wanted to see it on Friday because I knew I was going to be no good at work after a certain point, waiting to go see it if I was going to see it in the afternoon. So just took a half day and boom.
Good. So let's see. So I get when we talked during the pre-ramble about what we wanted to do with the segment here today, we kind of said, well, how about Warmachine Christmas? What are the things that we would like to see for as prizes from Privateer Press in the coming year? And being the president of Warmachine Hordes as I am, I will take each and every one of these under advisement as a potential thing. So I guess I'm going to turn also to the chat room a little bit and see, between John and I, we'll have some suggestions here, obviously. But we thought maybe there'd be some things that the Brushheads might want to see as well.
Absolutely.
So since I sprung this particular topic on us today, as I'm wont to do, I'll go ahead and lead the first thing. The first thing that I would like to see Privateer Press do is, boy, I don't even know. I came up with this damn topic and I don't really know where to go with it, to be honest. I just wanted to paint tonight, and I don't know. Right now I think Privateer Press has got a little bit of a problem in that they've so outstripped where they are in the books to where the models are in the release schedule. I guess the thing I'd like to see more than anything else is for Privateer to take a breather.
Mm-hmm.
and kind of let the release schedule get caught up, let their supply chain catch up to what they're trying to accomplish from a plastic standpoint and all this kind of stuff, and just kind of, you know, there's no rush to get a bunch more models out. I mean, I understand the reasons for revenue and things like that, but maybe take a breather. What do you think, John?
I definitely agree they need to take a breather. They did a short one a couple years ago when they did just Colossals and then Gargantuans the next year, but it wasn't enough. They still aren't caught up.
No.
I feel like with no quarter there to pick up the slack, they would put models in there. Plus the fact that you get the rules on a card in the blisters, you don't actually have to have it cut with a book. Take a little bit of an idea from other companies. GW's back to that, where sometimes they'll just put the rules in their White Dwarf, and Infinity just has rules available online when their models come out. So you don't have to wait for a book. You can have one book a year. We'll probably forgive you and just still try and get all the models out. Models are what we want.
So what are we missing right now? I mean, we're missing the Growlar, obviously, and that's
The list's actually way too big. Like, honestly, there's stuff from 2 books ago that hasn't out yet. A lot of the Jacks from 2 books ago, nope. Like the Growlar.
yeah, the Arknode one, the one for Protectorate that was, oh God,
I don't even remember what it is anymore.
I don't remember either.
That's how long ago it came out.
It was the one that like put up the bubble of the book, the little mini book bubble.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but yeah, that one's not out. Crix doesn't have their Jack either, and they're very. For once, some Crix players are actually upset they don't have a Jack. Rare as that is.
I know, right? It's like bizarre. It's like living in the bizarro world.
I actually think Mercs are caught up for that. That's just we're on the recent book, but we sort of cheat. We got some other stuff here and there.
I'm seeing in the chat room that Drakios Dragoon wants Trolls to get an Arknode for Christmas.
I don't feel like that'd be broken. I feel that'd be fine.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that either. So as president of Warmachine Hordes, I decree we will get an Arknode or some way of channeling.
As long as it's better than the Blind Walker for Gatorman. Because that thing, the model's really cool. Have you seen the model?
I have. It looks all candly and stuff.
Yeah, it's a cool model, but rules wise, it's not very good.
So, I mean, talk about John. I mean, you have more of an opinion on this than I am because I barely play this game anymore. What is it in those rules that is particularly egregious?
Well, the fact that if I remember correctly, it's a 2-cost Animus for him to do that. He's only a 3 Fury Beast, and he takes damage when you arc through him. I'll just start there. That's just poor design. If it was a 1-cost Animus or a 2-cost on a 4 Fury Beast that he doesn't take damage, it'd be okay. Honestly, if it was 4 Fury and he took damage at 2-cost, it might be okay. It's just... I actually feel straight up it's the worst, at least the worst heavy beast in the game.
I don't understand a heavy beast that's 3 Fury, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, with the Wold Wardens, you understand that's sort of their thing, is they have less. It's kind of unfortunate. It makes Wold Wardens and Wold Guardians a little worse, but that's sort of their thing since they never ever frenzy. But yeah, a regular beast is like, if he never frenzied and he could be a little Fury Battery, it might be okay. Of course, then you're not using his Arknode, so
Yeah.
It's just one of those designs. It feels like this is a design they had in the stable. Like, oh, we're gonna put this out eventually. They got a chance to put it out, and it's just not up to snuff with what they've been putting out recently.
Yeah, I mean, recent releases seem like they've been, if anything, heading towards the power creep end of the curve, and then this comes out and they decided to do something novel within the design space, and it ends up being a little bit of a, I don't want to say a scornergy, but it's a difficult choice to make, to choose that one.
Yep. Actually, Dracos Dragoon has a great idea. He said he wants to make it something like a Creelstone Troll, a heavy character beast, runes carved into the stones in the back that has an Animus, making him an Arknode would be great. Even in that case, if he was a standard, 4 or 5 Fury Troll, takes damage from arcing, and has some sort of cool Creel ability with Fury or something, that'd be cool too. I'm down with that. It'd be sweet.
Yeah. So So that's one thing. I mean, is the blind? Go ahead, John. You were going to say more about this guy.
Nah, I mean he's just not good. I
There you
mean,
go.
I could go on for a while how he's not good. I feel like the Rhinodon is a better beast than him, and that's saying something because the Rhinodon's no bueno.
There we go.
But what I want from Christmas from Predator Press is I actually would like them to, rather than, I know they've said they weren't going to do it, rather than go through and make more stuff, is go back and rebalance some of their stuff.
Okay.
It's got a little, it's I wouldn't call it egregious, except in rare cases, but everything's pretty close. There's some outliers that need to be brought to the mean. Some of the really crazy stuff needs to regress to the mean. And yes, that's going to piss some people off, but you know what? To make a better game, they'll live with it. They're adults for the most part.
Yeah.
And honestly, if they only want it for the super mega powerful stuff, I'll say this, I don't mean this in any offense to anyone. Do we really, really want just those guys in the hobby? Not really.
No.
We want the guys who are going to take whatever it is and just use it. I mean, look at your Haley 2 nerf. I mean, that she still gets played. Good lord.
Yeah, and Muse actually did an interesting thing. I haven't been listening to Muse quite as much as I used to, but they actually, someone pulled the stats on the performance of Haley 2 at the WTC, and she got played in more games and did better this year than she did before nerf.
Though, to be fair, that means it doesn't necessarily mean what they're making it out to. I mean, it's statistics from a very different style of tournament that's not played often at the highest level. So,
Oh, I understand. I mean, she was clearly
take it with a
seeing,
grain of salt. But yes,
was
it's interesting to hear.
she was clearly seeing a different set of matchups than she was in previous WTCs, and I 100% agree. Go ahead, John.
And she's not a negative play experience anymore.
No.
She's just good now. She's not like, because the first time I played against her, I was like, good lord, I could do something this turn, but I have to activate in whatever order he says. Fuck, this is horrible.
Yep.
I mean, I got through it and won the game, but it was very frustrating. It was one of those times I had to sit back and take some deep breaths and focus. But without that, it's just really good, not silly.
So if you hear some weird coughing going on in the background, my dog has got kennel cough, and so she's better than she was. I'll just say that. But she's got some interesting noises going on. That is not me making old man noises in the background. So if you've never heard a dog have kennel cough before, there you go.
I can hear, yeah.
Yeah, and then it follows by this like throwing up noise that she does, and it's there you go. That's some good radio right there, folks.
Yeah.
But she's not in danger. She's not dying, and she is. It's just an upper respiratory thing that you just got to keep an eye on it, that it clears up, because it can eventually turn into pneumonia, just like anything like a human can have it turn into pneumonia.
And pneumonia is no joke, people. People die from that, usually when they're older, but let's be honest. Go to the doctor.
Oh, yeah, seriously. Pneumonia will kill you. You won't even think
It's that
twice
time
about
of the
it.
year, especially locally, because we've had, here you go, John, Maryland, December, 50s.
Yep.
Just went down this weekend to cold. Apparently, it's going to go back up.
Yeah, it got cold here in Wisconsin too. It was finally down into the upper 20s, and that's, I mean, we have no snow on the ground at all, and that's, I mean, it's not totally unheard of to have a green Christmas here in Wisconsin, but it's the weather that we've been having has been quite different than what we're normally seeing.
So everyone East Coast, don't hate me, but damn it, the next year or two, I really want to wait Christmas, because my niece just moved here with her mom. This is her second Christmas here, living here, and we haven't had to wait Christmas, and she's lived in Las Vegas and Austin all her life, so I'd like her to actually get a white Christmas. I think that'd be cool.
Okay, so let's put that on the list for things that we want for Christmas.
Yeah. It looks like some people want some resculpts. Morton Joe would love a black 13th resculpt since they're so tiny.
That's totally legit.
I agree. And Fredox would love a resculpted Mulks who's not dragging the club around the floor. That club is actually named Bobby. It's an inside joke between me and a guy. Bobby. That's the club's name.
Well, I'll tell you what, I completely agree with all that, because Mugs, Mold sculpt, the current sculpt is just a pain in the butt to put into a foam, unless of course it's KR multi foam, multi-case foam. You know, John, it's that takes a Mold like butter because it's the butter
Well,
foam,
well played.
and I'll tell you what, you can't argue with the KR multi-case. You mean you could try, but it's an inanimate object, and arguing with it really wouldn't get you very far. So. See, that's what my dog right now was just sniffing some Rabble foam, and that's why she's making that noise, because she knows that stuff stinks, and so, oh, and then Troll Chuck just showed up to take the dog out, so, anyway,
So John, what would you like to see resculpted? Since we're talking about resculpts for Christmas, what are you going to get them to resculpt next?
I am going to get them to resculpt the. Let's see. My next one will be a resculpt of. Oh God, what could I resculpt that would need it? I'm thinking about trolls. There's really nothing in trolls that needs to be resculpted. I would resculpt Anastasia Debray.
Okay, I can see that.
I think Anastasia.
She's cool, but she's very two-dimensional. I can see that.
Yep. I don't care too much for that sculpt. I think that I would like to see them resculpt. See, for a caster, I'd like to see them do something with Fiora 1. I think
Okay.
I think that's kind of a terrible sculpt.
I find that model wasn't very inspiring.
Yeah. Let's see, who else would I have them resculpt from the factions that I enjoy playing? I would have them resculpt the Mage Hunter Strike Force to not be such a pain in the dick.
That's probably not going to happen, but fair enough.
Yeah. So, I
only
mean,
own 30 of those guys.
You do, huh?
Yeah.
Man, I own 10 and 11 and I want to die.
So I'll throw a little story in here. When I first got into Warmachine, I traded Epic Warhammer 40K or Warhammer Epic stuff for Warmachine stuff gotten directly from, it was like a friend of a friend.
Okay.
And he had this force made up, and it was 30 Mage Hunter Strike Force, 3 Mage Hunter Assassins, with Kalissa and all, and Gareth. I'm like, whatever. It was pretty cool. Draco's Dragoon says P. Gristle needs a resculpt so badly. I agree.
Yep.
Locally, our troll player Oak uses Gristle 2 and just tells us which one it is at the beginning of the game, and we're okay with that.
That's cool that you guys are good with that. Let's see, what else would I do? I mean, I'm trying to think of. There's a few ones in Mercs that could use a resculpt. I wouldn't mind seeing a Gorman DeWolf resculpt, to be honest.
I wouldn't be upset about it, but I don't think he's one of the models that super needs it.
No, I don't know.
I would say, and as a hardcore Merc player, I'm not going to go where you guys think. I would actually say Crow's Cutthroats, because those guys don't go together great either, and they're kind of boring. And I feel like that unit could get some more play if they looked more awesome. I like the look of Crow, even though he's two-dimensional. He's got a good look, but I wish they'd make the other guys look better.
Cool.
Kazi, obviously. They just need a little something to make them look better. Shockingly, the Talon. I would love an upgraded Talon because I feel like it would get more play if it looked cool. Tales of it being crap are vastly overrated.
Stall's a thing, by the way.
It's not great, but I mean, it's a 4-point jack that's pretty tough. It has a powerful charge, so it's mat 8 on the charge. It's not quite as good as a Griffin, but I mean, what is?
Yeah.
Griffin's completely off the chains. But still pretty good. For a faction that tends to have a lot of casters that can do good stuff with jacks, it'd be good to have one that looks cool at least.
Yeah.
Caster-wise? Magnus 1, for fuck's sake. Magnus 1.
Yeah, he's hard to look at.
He's not terrible. He's just so plain and boring. Magnus 2 is so cool. Magnus 1, you're just like, ugh. Meh.
Meh.
Oh, Fredox says he'd like Epic Gumbjorn for Christmas. Who wouldn't?
As long as he's got vastly improved rules, I'm all down with it.
He's got 2 rocket launchers, because that's what you do.
He's going to go all John Woo.
Yeah, that's right. John Woo with rocket launchers. That's only slightly excessive.
He's gonna like be jumping and firing both rocket launchers at the same time.
That sounds like something I do in Borderlands. I have done that in Borderlands. It was really excessive, and I went through ammunition so quick. But hey, it was fun.
Cool. So I mean, that's a couple. I mean, that's I think all I've got for resculpts. I mean, they do need to do it. Has there been any models recently that they put out that you just were like ick?
It was just ick. I don't know about ick. There's been some I've been kind of meh about, but nothing really ick. I mean, they really gotten to a good point where they've really fine tuned their aesthetic, let's say, and they're using the CAD now, so things are looking pretty similar as far as scale. So no, nothing recently I was really upset with.
Cool. Not me either. I mean, I think that they've done a really good job. I mean, I think the last book that they put out that they had. I mean, the Black 13th, I think, were some of the last really bad models that they put out. But
well, they're not even bad. It's just that they're off scale. And honestly, they're only off scale when you really look at them next to another model. They're sort of like Kel Balok. He's a little off scale, but I love Kel Balok's model. He's cool. He's characterful. It's pretty much what the character is. And being off scale isn't always a problem, you know.
I hear you. I just didn't. I don't care for the aesthetic of it and stuff, but that's fine. We have a question, and one of the questions is like, what the heck did they feed Doomy 3 to get to the size he is?
That is a question. I believe the exact wording, if you would like it, is how did Doomy 3 get so buff? He is huge, and that's from David Cameron.
Well, he's swole. I mean, let's be honest with it. So he went down. He went to the gym in the Thornwood, and he's been down there. He's been eating his protein bars, and he's been bench pressing some dire trolls, and you can't help it. You just get big at that point. And he may have had some snacking, so he tried out some snacking, and he snacked up some good high protein meals, and he's kicking ass and taking names now. He's definitely buff. There's no two ways about it. He is, and I'll tell you what, he is such a beautiful model to paint.
It's looking good.
The detail on this model is just crazy good. So he's gonna have a couple of different. He's gonna have like two-tone brown armor on here, and then I'm gonna do the. I might do the. I'm thinking about the rune. Something's got to be in pink, of course, because of this army. So I'm not sure what I may just stick with the pink runes in all. He's got more of these darn rune stones that are hanging off of him, and so probably just kind of stick with those a little bit with the pink. But.
Absolutely. Well, we've jumped into questions. Let's do some more while we're there.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I'm having a little bit of trouble, John, getting my mojo on tonight's show, but we're toddling along. I'm painting, so that's why I'm maybe not as conversational as I might otherwise be.
Absolutely, it's no problem. Let's see. Here we go. It's from my boy Frank Thompson over in the UK. Stuck there for a little bit longer before he comes back to the States. He says, do you think Private Press is going to have a take on rebalancing theme forces? He mostly means the overpowered and useless ones.
I don't think they're ever going to do anything with them, to be honest.
I think they should, but I don't think they're going to.
No, I don't think they're going to either. I think that I think they've shown how they plan on addressing some of the inadequacies. I mean, with how they handled Denny 2, and I don't know that I see a Mark III out into the distance, but I don't know. I mean, they're doing some things with the design space around, alternate versions for different theme forces and stuff like that, and that's interesting. It opens up the design space, but I don't see them doing a major reboot or rebalancing like on a grand scale anytime soon. What do you think, John?
I don't think they're going to either. I think there's a bunch of ways they could have. I will also say that anyone who thinks they're not thinking about and probably working a little bit on a Mark III is crazy. I'm sure it's there. Maybe not as slated for any date, but it's got to be in your thought when you're running a miniature game that is starting to get a little bit of people mentioning how things need to be fixed. I mean, they kind of put themselves in a corner with some of these very cool but slightly OP theme lists. Honestly, the ones that are crap, they're not as much of a problem because no one will use them. It's okay. The ones that are overpowered, that are when you start seeing Runes of War and EE at every troll player, that's a problem. And I feel like they have to find some way to deal with it, but I'm not sure they've found the way yet.
No, I mean,
I don't know the way.
I don't know the either, but I'm not paid to know the way.
I feel like a tournament format where no theme forces are allowed would be there. Maybe Iron Gauntlet will not allow theme forces. That would probably be an interesting idea for them.
The thing
That's their main their push is Iron Gauntlet.
where they have some of these theme lists that are so popular, and if they go ahead and retcon and all, let's say they go to a Mark III, and that invalidates all the theme lists, which I would assume a Mark III would have to do.
Wouldn't have to. Having been in GW for a long time, they've had some additions where the changes were mostly core rules and everything else didn't change horribly enough so that to invalidate much.
I don't know what's wrong with this game from a core rule standpoint that calls for a Mark III. I mean,
Nothing that calls for a Mark III unless you're talking about rebalancing models.
right.
From a core rule standpoint, you know what's wrong with it? I think we had that, you had that a long time ago when you had Nate Hoffman on, and he told you his big three list of stuff needs to be fixed. And that's pretty much my big three list aside from rebalancing stuff.
Yeah, fix water.
Yep. I agree with that. He has the best idea for that.
Yep. And given his status in the company, I guess you'd call it, with as a judge, I mean, hopefully he's got their ear on that one. What were the other ones that he had mentioned? Morale tests?
I don't remember. Yeah, morale tests. That sort of got that stealthy fixed by the ruling that if you break during your turn, you get a chance to rally immediately.
Yes.
That actually takes a lot of the bullshit away from it. I actually like that a lot. It still doesn't make it fair. And honestly, if you find a way in a game to make morale tests fair, don't tell me make your game because that'll help sell it.
Yep.
Because it's the hardest thing. They've no company has ever made morale tests fair. They're always horrible, and when they happen, it's just terrible. The closest to fair would be Malifaux because due to their mechanic, you can cheat the cards and choose to pass it.
Yeah.
So, assuming you have the cards.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a game that has units, I mean, anytime that you have a morale test where you have the possibility of an entire chunk of your army just saying, "Nope, we're not activating this turn," that's bad times. I mean, it's gonna for the person that's happening to, it's going to feel unfair.
And it's only unfair if you don't value Fearless as much as you should.
Makes sense.
Stuff like, undead stuff should probably cost more than it does because it's never, ever, ever going to change. Going to fail a fear test.
Yeah.
It's not going to fail. I mean, that's the rules.
God, and if you just took like Banes and bumped them by 2 points, I wonder how.
1 point.
What's that?
1 point. 1 point would do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, 2 points would probably be. That might be a bridge too far, depending on the Bane with the Bane thralls. Someone did a great, great comparison of the 5/8 core units, if you will, of armies.
Sure.
They put Stormblades in there for Signar, even though they don't actually have the 10-man unit. And Banes just basically have stealth for free.
When you compare
stealth and undead is pretty much free compared to the other guys with slightly better stats. So that kind of balances the undead a little bit, but the stealth is pretty much free.
Yeah, I think they undervalue also. They gave them the Mat 5, and that somehow
they gave Mat 6.
Mat 6. Okay, Mat 6.
Bad.
I'm sorry, Mat 6. But that faction has so many ways to fix defense and to fix that stat that it doesn't end up being that big of a hurdle for them to overcome.
Yeah, it's funny with that faction actually having a low mat. It's not as big of a problem as it would be in something like Retribution. Retribution can fix a unit, but they can't fix an army.
Mm-hmm.
Fricks can fix an army because they use debuffs rather than buffs. And I think they really need to, if we get deep into it, take a step back and look at how the armies function and balance stuff better on armies like they're supposed to, but look at how they function better.
Cool. Wow, that was some deep talk we just had.
Yeah, I mean,
We're good like that.
yeah. Most people are saying that a Mark II remix or Mark 2.5 would be a better idea than Mark III.
Yep.
Definitely agree. But even then, it's gonna be hard to do themeless. They've already said they don't want to invalidate any of your models or any of your purchases, which hats off to them. That's great, because that's the worst thing GW has ever done, is invalidate entire armies. So, next question. Well, these are going to get kind of Star Wars-y real quick, because we got attacked by Declan Lowry, and he dropped a bunch of questions on us.
Well, let's we worried that we might not have enough to talk about with Star Wars, but if we kick it off with questions, that doesn't seem like the end of the world.
I think we'll have enough to talk about. Let's just see. It's just not talking about the wrong stuff. So let's start. We'll start with the non-Star Wars-y of the Star Wars questions. He says, next film you're looking forward to?
Next film that I'm looking forward to, Deadpool.
That's fair. I was actually going to say Captain America: Civil War, but thinking about it, yeah, Deadpool.
Which one's coming out? Which one's coming out first?
Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool. February, right?
I think so. Didn't even think about it.
Saw a movie poster for it today at when I was going to see Star Wars, and my son asked if I was gonna. Deadpool's got a movie. I go, yeah, it's gonna be rated R though, son. Sorry.
Oh, Fredox even one up me. Fredox, thank you. Hateful Eight, actually.
Hateful Eight.
Quentin Tarantino Western. I'm in.
Yeah.
Kurt Russell, in.
Yeah, he's. All right, so
I haven't seen many previews for it, so isn't prominent in my mind. I mean, really, if you're talking about really looking forward to an almost a Force Awakens style, it's Civil War. That's gonna be the next, in my opinion, big deal movie, because that trailer was super legit.
Yeah, Civil War is gonna be great. I mean, that is your next. It's the next in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though I guess Deadpool is, but.
Well, it's Fox. We don't count them. Fuck those guys. Marshall gave me a look when I said meh to the trailer for Apocalypse.
I don't know. It's the right cast. I mean, I like anything that the Michael Fassbender cast for, like the X-Men Days of Future Past and stuff like that. I guess maybe I'm just a huge fan of Days of Future Past, and that's where I am anxious to see this next one. But Apocalypse, I'm not a big enough comic book guy to hate so much what Apocalypse is, just because I really wasn't aware of him so much.
So this might be the one time my nerd, my inner nerd goes, no, no, this is crap because of what they're doing to the source material time. But the X-Men series is the one where they're just like, they took the broad strokes of the first movie and then they just kind of pooped all over it later. And, I enjoyed First Class. I legitimately liked Days of Future Past, but they have about as much in common with the X-Men as the new Star Trek will have in common with Star Trek. The names are the same. That's about the size of it. And that's not going to say it's going to be a bad movie. I just looked at it and I'm like, meh, I'm not excited for that movie. Will I see it in the theater? Yeah, probably. I think Days of Future Past is good enough to earn me seeing their next movie in the theater.
God, I like that movie. I was watching it the other day. Michael Fassbender's so good as Magneto.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The cast is great. I mean, let's be honest. So, the cast is good. But speaking of trailers, did you see the Star Trek trailer?
No, I have not seen the Star Trek trailer.
Oh. Well, as Will Wheaton said, did you see that generic action movie trailer that looked like they trying to pretend to be Star Trek?
Oh.
Or something to that effect? I'll say, looks interesting, but it does look kind of generic action-y. Try and skip the trailers, I'll say. You might enjoy the movie more if you skip the trailers.
Okay, well, I'll try to skip the trailers. I mean, I honestly didn't know there was another Star Trek movie coming.
Oh, yeah, Star Trek Beyond. Simon Pegg's kind of in on the writing. We'll see.
So is it going to be a comedy with Simon Pegg?
Oh no, it's not comedy.
Okay.
I mean, there's some funny bits. I mean, I'll be honest. Carl Urban as Dr. McCoy is so fucking good.
Oh God, I was watching some Xena with my youngest, and Carl Urban shows up all the time on that show. And
Does he? What was he in that? Holy crap!
he actually had a number of roles in that. He played Cupid, and he played some other characters too. You look it up on IMDb. But yeah, he's actually got several roles in that show.
Huh.
And he's a very young Carl Urban, but I love him as an actor. I think he's top notch.
I will. Oh, Julius Caesar, Corey. Oh yeah, shit. He's been in a bunch. Yeah, I'll watch Carl Urban in anything. It's really too bad that his TV series was canceled because Fox is horrible.
What was he in?
Almost Human.
Almost Human. Okay, all right. They kill everything that's good. I was watching Dark Matter. Have you seen that one yet?
I have not.
That was pretty good. He's not in it, but I just thought I'd mention it.
Fair enough. All right, so back to the next question. I'm going to throw this out there, let you talk about it a little bit, and I'm going to get another drink.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'll start with the more detailed one, and it's still from Declan. He says, if you could choose, would you guys be Jedi or Sith?
Okay,
Go.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm going to be Jedi. First and foremost, I have not always been the nicest guy that ever walked the planet Earth, and so I feel like I've had my fill of what not doing good can do. I can say without question, I would rather be on the good side. It seems as though everyone that is involved in the dark side with the Sith ends up looking really ugly, like the Emperor, and Han Solo had. So, I don't want to. Yeah, Han Solo's a handsome guy, and he, I want to be more handsome like him. There, how's that for a save? So that's a good thing. So I would go with the light side because I want to be handsome someday. John, what do you?
Well, I'll take it to its full geek potential. If I had to choose between Jedi or Sith, I'd choose Sith because the Jedi, when you really analyze their code and their whole thing, fuck those guys. They're like this, I don't know, neoconservative, you can't love, you can't hate, like emotionless. I don't even know. I mean, that's no way to live a life. Like, if you want to devote yourself to everyone else and all that stuff, fair, but that's no way to live. I'd have to, if I had to choose, I'd have to choose Sith, because at least then you get to live a little.
Oh, I'd be the Jedi that likes rum.
Fair enough. So his next question, he's getting into some lightsabery stuff now.
Okay. He
starts off with, are you single blade or a dual blade?
I'm single blade with the crossbar.
Okay. I'm a classic guy. I'm a single blade. Because otherwise you'll cut your leg off.
I'm going, no. You keep people from cutting your hand off. That's what I know. Is because I'm not giving anything away here, but there might be laser sword battles in the new movie, and I can see some utility in having a thing that stops the blade from coming down and cutting your hand off.
Okay.
How many people lost their effing hands in the original trilogy? Lots.
Hands or arms? Oh, fair amount.
Yep. Seems dangerous to me. OSHA's not having it. So.
Yeah, but I'm a single blade kind of guy, kind of classic.
There you go.
I dig the sort of samurai style of the original Vader and Obi-Wan. There's some style there,
So you don't want the conservative, traditionalist, light side Sith boy, but you're all in on the traditional blade.
Yeah. Well,
see,
some things are worth tradition, not
Oh.
fascist traditionalism.
Oh man, see now you refuted my thing there. I was
Well,
trying to use a Jedi mind trick on you.
Yeah. And then Declan asks finally, what color blade would you have?
Purple, because it's cool.
I'd be blue or green, probably blue. I mean, it's a little traditional, but it's my favorite color.
I like purple. I think purple would be sweet.
That's right. I'd be single blade Sith with a blue sword, and everyone would be confused as hell.
There you go.
Hmm.
So I think that's where we'd have to be on that one.
Yeah. Well, that's all the new ones.
Wow, we only have a half an hour show left.
Well, let's hit some old ones then.
Yeah, let's do that.
Declan also asked way back when, have you guys seen the Kickstarter for Droplet Commander by Talk Games, which is probably done by now.
I saw it and I did not invest in it. I think that, I think right now they're trying. You see a lot of fleet battle type games coming around, and I think they were trying to get on that. But I mean, I don't know. I know a lot of people like Drop Zone Commander and stuff like that, and like the Hawk games. But once again, I'm suffering from the "don't nobody gonna play it around here" syndrome.
Fair enough. And honestly, I'm in the if I'm going to play, as not Brushhead Dave puts it, if I'm going to play a space battle game, I'm going to play one with Star Destroyers.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's hard to argue with.
Have you played much of the Armada?
Just a little bit. I'm still wrapping my head around it, but some of the guys picked it up locally. We just need to get the time. Holidays and the store closing has been a bit for us to get used to, but we're getting through it.
Cool.
All right. Next one is an older one from Martin Schreck, who asks if you could choose any Warcaster or Warlock to receive a privateer treatment, sort of like Gorman to Seawolf or Marine makeover. Who would you choose and why? And if you have the idea, what would you call them?
A privateer makeover, so turning them into a privateer. Let's see. We haven't seen a troll go in that direction, so maybe Janissa would be a good person to get at, and we could have. Let's see. Maybe we could do a Janissa Captain Hook sort of different, sex crossover kind of a thing with that.
Wow, that's kind of crazy.
So maybe a pirate Janissa, and we could put her Janissa Stone Tide of Doom or something. I don't know. I'm just winging it here. I'm just spitballing. But she's already got Tide in her name, so it makes some sense there.
Yeah, that's a good already in there.
What do you think,
That'd
John?
be cool. Well, he asked for Warcaster, so God, I don't know. I play the faction
I
of
said
pirates.
Warcaster. Yeah.
It's really hard. I didn't actually give this any thought before. I just rattled it off.
Thought is not what I'm best at.
I would like to see maybe a Magnus with a sea motif.
Oh, there you go.
He's got the robotic arm and all. I mean, not sure what you'd call him, but that'd be kind of cool. Plus, he's a sort of iconic character to get that sort of cool makeover.
Maybe something like Magnus, Privateer. Of
the
the
Dread
Open Sea.
Pirate Magnus.
There you go.
I like that.
I like that one.
Oh, that would be so sweet. Well, Legionnaires asked, have you all checked out Dark Matter on Netflix?
So I started.
You did?
Yep, I did. Belinda put it on. She was over at the house today. Belinda is not feeling good today. She's been nursing a pretty bad headache for the last couple of days and just not feeling good. So all the positivity you can send towards Belinda Librarian, folks, would be appreciated. She put that on, and at first I was a little hesitant to watch it, and it caught my fancy. I'm probably going to end up watching it. Long story short, on the plot, bunch of people wake up in cryogenic stasis because sci-fi, and they don't remember who they are. They don't remember their names. They don't remember anything, and they start kind of figuring out that one of the things that they find is like this AI android, and it starts slowly piecing together kind of the memory banks of the ship that they're on, and they have a hold full of weaponry and a room that they can't get the doors open to. So mystery, and so it's on its way to being pretty fun. I mean, I'm enjoying what's happened so far. I'm not going to give away the big twist at the end, but I found it quite enjoyable so far. So Dark Matter, give it a try. I give it one shot of Kraken.
Fair enough. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I don't have Netflix still. It's on my list. We'll see. Sometimes you got to see if you can afford it or not.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, I think I screwed that up. 1 second here. Next one. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I had a little boo-boo with the program.
Oh, no worries. Take your time. We're just a painting show, folks.
Yeah. All right. Boom. Get those out of here. All right. The next one is. Here we go. Shaboom Lafooz asked, if Guild Ball is making you forget about Warmachine, why not paint Guild Ball models exclusively instead of Warmachine Hordes models?
Because I've all painted everything I own.
Exactly. That's the good thing about those games like that, is that there's not necessarily a ton to paint.
And I haven't given up on Warmachine Hordes completely. I mean, I'm probably going to play Warmachine Hordes on Monday if I can find a game. And it's Guild Ball's awesome. I really enjoy that. But I'll be honest with you, I'm struggling to find people. I live in a city that does not have a strong gaming presence. It just doesn't happen here. There's a lot of cool things about Racine. Strong gaming community is not one of them. So, just if I were to dedicate the show to just painting Guild Ball, it'd be a short show.
Yeah. What's sort of the fun about those other games, like, say, the Guild Ball or even the Malifaux or the Infinity, is that since it's a small number of models, it's just a good palette cleanser. Like, oh, I painted a bunch of Warmachine stuff. Now I'm going to jump over and paint some Guild Ball or some, whatever your secondary game is.
Yep. And that's what I'm enjoying painting. I'm enjoying painting a little bit of a Doom Shaper here because I haven't painted a Warmachine Hordes model. I mean, I did Moros and stuff like that, but I gave myself a little palette cleanser with the Rivet Wars and did some Guild Ball. So, yeah. I say is paint what you like.
Absolutely.
Find something that you enjoy and paint it.
All right. Well, that's an interesting question. We're probably not going to be able to do that one. Trying to find the good ones. We got some really old ones here that'd be good topics. I probably should have looked at that before.
Real quick before we get to that one, John, Fredox is asking, are either of us picking a fisherman? I'm not picking a fisherman right now. I have brewers and engineers, and if I were to pick up a third faction, I'd probably pick up alchemists, just because I'm an engineer, but I'm a chemical engineer, and I think it'd be fun to play with some chemistry dudes.
I've totally thought about picking up fishermen, but still haven't got to the point where I've picked up Guild Ball. So,
I think they're completely legit. I mean, they are a hit and run, score quickly kind of a guy. They're not going to put out damage. They're not going to be knocking the other team out like the Butchers or anything like that. But they are certainly a legitimate threat to score literally on any turn. So, there you go.
all right. Well, here's a cool one from a while back from Joseph Lachuca. He says, does your army have a soundtrack?
Oh.
I would say whatever list you're playing more or less recently. Well, for you, does Fire Mountain have a theme song?
Yes, it does. It's Fire on the Mountain by the Grateful Dead. It's kind of a reggae inspired thing, and it is, all about it's of course, because it is Fire Mountain. Fire on the Mountain seems fairly obvious, but it's a sweet song. Listen to it. What about you, John? Do you got any lists that have particular enough feel to them that you would think they'd have a theme song?
Well, just because it's funny, and someone posted this way back on the Merc forums way back when. Any list with McBain, the theme song is a song called Die Hard from a band called Guy's Night with a Z, Guyz Night.
Jesus.
And, oh, dude, it's actually about the Die Hard movies.
Nice.
Literally, it's a song about the Die Hard movies up to movie 4. They didn't do 5, thank God. It's super funny. I haven't really thought about it much more than that, but I'm sure you could come up with it if you get there. We actually used to do this thing at Games Workshop where on weekends when we'd be working, we'd play some music, and our boss would come in occasionally and would say what Games Workshop thing he feels fits that music. It was kind of fun.
So if you want to add a certain theme song to represent your hardcore casual list for the contest, that could be worth some bonus points.
Yeah, throw us a YouTube link. We'll listen to songs.
Heck yeah, we might find some cool new music out of it.
Absolutely. I would actually say that, to sort of get off topic, is when someone sends you a link to music, just listen to it. You never know when you're going to find that next band you love.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, there's a lot of bands, or when I hear stuff in videos, like I watch Devin Supertramp does these slow-mo and cool, just people doing fun stuff videos. And a lot of times the soundtrack music ends up being stuff I really like, the stuff he has in the background. So I found Conbro Chill, who's a band I really enjoy. They amuse the crap out of me. You never know when you're going to find that next band that you really love or that next song you really love.
Cool.
Let's see if we can get another one or two here. We're getting crazy. We're getting crazy deep here. Holy moly.
Welcome to Deep Cut tonight when we don't want to jump into the movie too early.
Yeah. Let's see. I have no one to painting. Those are longer ones. Holy crap. I'm into like legit silly or what? Let's see what we got here. Coolest person based on description and fluff in Imran from James Algren.
Oh boy. Maybe if I had read any of the last few books.
Just what you know.
Berica. Bob Borka in general. I think that he is a cool guy. He's the party animal of Western Imran. He has a weapon called Trauma. How badass is that? He has a keg carrier, and when he doesn't have the keg carrier around, he rides a bear. So, Berica's got my vote.
Mine's gonna surprise you.
Vilmon. I was gonna say Bill. I was gonna say Big Bane. No. Vilmon.
Vilmon is. That's a minute I can get behind. That guy is super legit.
Yeah, he is.
He cares about people. He's the hero, and that's super awesome. Especially in a faction that their god would not sort of necessarily inspire that sort of heroism necessarily.
The Order of the Wall is actually, in general, pretty good guys.
Okay, I haven't read all that. They had a whole thing on Vilmon in one of the No Quarters. I read that, and I'm like, that guy is super legit.
Yep, he is. The Order of the Wall actually gives a damn about people. And I have not read Durst's fluff, but I would think that Durst would not be a total asshat.
Yeah, it seems like he would be if he's Order of the Wall and they're all cool.
It seemed to be.
That seems like it'd be cool.
Yep.
All right. Oh, still going. Still got some time. Here's a really old one from Marth Fright. What is the best idea with a super glue bottle whose neck is all clogged up?
Okay, that's actually a good question. We can talk about that.
Yeah, it is.
So there's a couple of different ways. It depends on what kind of super glue bottle you actually have. If you have a super glue bottle that is... sometimes what you can do with them is you can simply lance them with a pin or something like that, and you can get most of the gook out of it, and then I'll take a hobby knife and scrape anything of the large solid buildup at the top, and usually that'll resurrect the bottle pretty good. I've been using Army Painter super glue recently, and the thing that I do to keep it from getting clogged up is I just make sure I wipe off the top every time after I use it. And there were times I'd throw away half full bottles of super glue because I was too lazy to clean off the top.
Yeah, and honestly, if you try and like open it up and pour it into another bottle, that doesn't work. When that much starts getting exposed to the air, it's no good. Just don't do it.
Yep,
trust me.
Just throw it away. You failed.
Yep.
Try again.
Yep. I do the paper clip. I bend the paper clip, put it in there, clean it out as much as I can. But yeah, wiping off the top. Also, I find not all the time, but more often than not, if you put it down hard, like you would slam a shot down if you were taking shots, it helps get that glue to come back down out of the barrel.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Out of the nozzle, and that'll help you. At least not have it happen in the first place. But honestly, if the paperclip can't do it, you're probably getting a new bottle of super glue.
Yep. Hey,
And
go ahead, John.
since this happened twice in memory, one was at an old GW Grand Tournament I went to. It was super legit, actually. It was a good time. Someone had left their super glue in their pocket, and it
Oh no.
leaked in their pocket.
Oh no.
So, as a joke prize at the end of the whole thing, they gave them another bottle of super glue, which they jokingly then put in their pocket.
Oh my.
So, and then and Morton Joe unfortunately left his super glue in his kit in his Ravelboom case that he uses for his paints and tools.
Yo.
And it leaked, and that's no bueno. So my suggestion is take your super glue, keep it separate, put it in a plastic bag, whatever you do, keep it separate. Respect its glue. Treat it like anything else. You just respect the fact that it's glue, and if it leaks, it will screw shit up.
Yeah. Anytime I travel with super glue, I put it in its very own Ziploc bag, because if that thing lets loose, at least it's contained in its own bag and you just get a new bottle of super glue.
Yeah, I put mine. I have little boxes I use for carrying hobby supplies. I put it so that it's always standing up. And if it leaks, it's gonna leak in a box. All my hobby tools are in a large craft or hobby or school container, like this little plastic thing that holds a bunch of tools.
Cool. That was a good one. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I should mention real quick, and I didn't mention it earlier. I meant to mention about I did a live stream of Warmachine Tactics,
Yeah, you did. I saw that.
and it went very, very well with Ross Thompson of White Moon Dreams. Now he used to be in Ninja Division, and now he's over building community at White Moon Dreams. Guys, give the game another chance. Nobody has dogged on that game harder than me, and I really recommend you give it another try. They have been working very hard to optimize it. It's only the second game ever on the Unreal 4 engine, so they probably rolled the bones a little bit on the new technology, and if anyone's should be accepting of people's struggles with technology, it ought to be this show.
Absolutely.
And so I recommend you guys give it a try. It's clicking along at 60 frames a second with its eyes closed on my machine, and just beautiful. And if you spend a couple 10 minutes learning the key cut shortcuts, the game plays actually fast. We played 2 games in 1 hour, and
That's legit.
and they were 25-point games, and we played a little bit smaller games, but they played very quickly, and they were super fun. And getting a game together could not have been easier once your buddies on Steam. So one of the things I think we're going to do is I'm going to put a sticky thread, on the Painting with Menoth John Facebook page. And if you are willing to, if you want to be friends with people who are on that page, I'm going to put my Steam account name on there. Feel free to add yours to it.
Too.
Feel free to add yours in your comments. And, maybe we can get some games of this going between the Brushheads.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't actually play much. I only play Borderlands 2, but if you're late to the party and want to play Borderlands 2, heck, I'd make a new character to jump in with you. I know what stuff does. I'm reasonably competent.
Yep.
I only play one new game every decade or so, and I bought Borderlands a couple years ago. So there's still like 7 more years or 8 more years before I buy a new game.
So
Back in my day, that's how long you had to wait before the game came out.
in my day, we used to have to wait for 6-7 years before we got a beta.
Oh, funny story. So I bought MechWarrior when it came out, played it, loved it. It was great. The first MechWarrior.
Me too.
I pre-ordered MechWarrior 2, and it took so long for that damn game to come out. Not only was my computer not even remotely potentially thinking about ever being compatible with it, they had already refunded my pre-order cost twice.
What? Okay. I loved MechWarrior and MechWarrior 2.
I never got to play MechWarrior 2 because it came out. It took too long.
Yep.
It took years. Like when people Duke Nukem Forever. Like, yeah, it took a while. But this was the first game that took so damn long. Now, people who could play it say it was worth it, but that wasn't me.
MechWarrior Online, which I have been playing on Steam, it is really good and really fun. for me, it captures exactly what Mech Warrior and Mech Warrior 2 were like for me. It's just their microtransaction games, which pisses me off to a certain extent.
Yeah, I hate microtransactions. And I'll say this. I had two friends, not Brushhead Dave and not Brushhead the Jason, both played Borderlands. They talk about it a lot at lunch, not so much they would annoy me. When it became on Steam sale for $10 for the whole big shebang, longtime Brushheads will know this, I just bought it because sounds good and $10. That's a hell of a play.
Yeah, that game's great though.
And here it is. I've still got playability. I've won it once. I'm halfway through with that character. Then I'm playing again with another character, and there's still like other content I haven't touched it yet. I've got a bunch more of the expansion adventures, if you will. I've only played Tiny Tina's because that one's super legit.
I was just gonna say, if you haven't played Tiny Tina's yet, go put that one at the top of the list.
Yeah. So,
cool.
There you go. But, Morton Joe mentions, John, that he plays MechWarrior Online. We should totes play, bruh, is what he says.
Well, absolutely. That sounds great, bro. Bro fist at the camera for you. Boom. There you go. There, I'm just like PewDiePie now, with like 6 million less subscribers. That guy. Anyway.
All right. I think it's time, John. We've waited too long.
Yeah, I think so too. It's fine. So there was a movie that released this week. I heard that some people have gone to it.
Indeed, one or two people.
1 or 2 people, 1 or 2 billion
just
people.
mention it. Guys, there'll be no spoilers here. If you spoiler in the chat room, I'm going to put you on timeout.
And if you spoil it hard enough, the president of Warmachine Hordes may have to nerf your entire faction.
Yeah, you don't want that. So
you think what I did to the Haley nerf and the Gorman nerf were bad. I got special stuff lined up for spoilers. Anyway, so The Force Awakens.
Oh.
Do you want to go, John? I'm going to put you on the Spencer cam for this.
Oh, do you want me to go? Jeez. So we talked about it. It's going to be hard to talk too much about this movie other than general impressions without spoiler, but we're not going to spoiler. If we do spoiler, it'll be a special, its own video. Not going to have everyone in for that because I'm not spoiling this movie.
Nope, it's too good.
And I remember I'm extra critical of movies since I sort of think of them like that. But so I'll start with what I thought was the bad.
Okay.
The bad is it does kind of follow the narratives of other movies a little bit, other movies of the series.
Yeah.
Which it's not necessarily a fault of the movie. They didn't do it in the exact same way, so it's super good. But that is a little it's noticeable the couple times it happens.
Yeah, I felt the same. I felt the same way. I think that there are times where there are certain storytelling devices that are used from time to time, especially in adventure movies, and I think that maybe. By the way, Arcadan wants to know if he missed me talking about his stuff, and Arcadan, This is some of the hills that you gave me. I painted them up so that they're super legit. Tectonic Craft Studios, guys, it's legit. And here's a little tree, happy little tree. It'll be happier after I paint it. So anyway, but anytime that you're talking about an adventure and you have to basically the purpose of a first movie in a lot of cases is bringing in new members of the cast and things like that, and you want them to have a shared experience. Mm-hmm. That you need to put them in peril. You need to have certain things, but boy, I think that they did a great job of acknowledging the other movies without just copying them.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a joke. Someone wrote in an article that if The Force Awakens wasn't owned by Disney, someone would be suing them for because it's more than homage. But that's the biggest problem I have with the movie, and it's not a big problem. It's not like these are bad themes they're running through. It's good themes. The movie's, let's be honest, it's pretty good. At the very least, it's pretty good. And I actually feel like it would be better on repeat viewings. And some people I've seen on Facebook have said that it is actually better in repeat viewings when you're not just, maybe looking for that part of the trailer that you know is coming, or waiting for something to happen. Instead, you're just enjoying it because you know what happens. You just get to enjoy and bask in everything.
I think that's very true. I think that there's a certain number of times during the course of that movie when you have a moment where a certain character will come on, and almost while that character is coming onto the movie, you're reliving moments you've lived with that character in the past, and you're maybe not as in the moment of the movie as you might otherwise have been. And I know I found that happened for me, with Han and some of those kinds of things. And I don't think everyone knows that Han Solo is in this movie, and
He's fucking great.
he's amazing. I mean, it's going back and watching the movies as we did, John. It made me appreciate Han Solo's character more than I think I ever appreciated it in the past. He is an amazing character, and in now he's older, and he's lived life, and it hasn't been a happy time for Han.
And Han has the second most growth through the Star Wars movies of anyone. It's Luke, then Han. No one else really has as much growth. Those really are the main characters.
Yep. There's so that's like, seeing it a second time, I think will give me an opportunity to really look at especially the new characters, and to have that newness kind of washed away. I think all of the new actors and actresses did wonderful jobs with their characters.
Absolutely. I felt like they were all different. They all did what they were supposed to do. It was great.
Yep.
Yeah. Anything else I'm going to say right this moment would be spoilers, so no. I want to give a shout out. Poe Dameron is fucking amazing. He's great.
Who did he play? Finn? No.
No, that's the character's name.
Oh yeah.
The
Oh
pilot.
God, yeah. He's amazing.
Oh my God. There's a scene that's his scene, and you're just like, holy shit.
Yep. I was watching that, and I ended up saying to Belinda and to my kid, "Will you look at that?"
Yeah.
Who's that? And then it becomes very obvious who that is.
Yeah.
And he's super great.
All the new characters are great. I'll actually even go so far as to say that BB-8 is cooler than R2-D2.
Oh, I think he is.
Absolutely.
He's got great personality already.
Great moments. He's cuter than R2 somehow.
Well, a beach ball that can haul ass the way he can is all good in my book.
Super cool. Rey, played by Daisy Ridley, is super cool.
Yeah. Strong female characters.
Absolutely. She stronger even than Princess Leia. And Princess Leia, while she was a princess and had to get rescued a couple times, she was still relatively a strong character.
I agree completely. And
she wasn't all, rescue me. That was sort of the plot of the first movie, but after that, like Jabba's palace, she kind of rescued herself. Oh, and killed Jabba, because that's what she does.
No, there's no kind of about it. I was thinking about that as Belinda and I watched the third movie. I was like, wait a second. There's none of these other clowns that got locked up had opportunity one to talk to Leia to discuss escape plans. She didn't know any of that stuff was going down. And so she said, "What? Hey, I got an opportunity. Time to kill Slug Boy."
Well, or you look at the fact that Luke knows what's going to happen because he's used Jedi far-seeing and has made this super Hannibal A-team style plan, but we'll see.
So I'm holding up my Tectonicraft Studio Hill here because I just got done painting the rocks because there are little rocks on here, and it's super beautiful.
NFO said the movie gave me the chills a couple of times. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing I want to see the movie for. He mentions, he says, like, when you hear perfect notes in music, I actually didn't notice the soundtrack as much. There's no standout track like Duel of the Fates.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely didn't detract. I mean, honestly, it's a Star Wars movie. If you don't notice the soundtrack, that probably means it was on point.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm kind of hoping I'm going to get the soundtrack. I've got every other soundtrack for Star Wars. Might as well keep it going. I want to see it again so I can hear the soundtrack. I want to just sort of enjoy the movie.
I actually want to watch it not in 3D. I watched it in 3D because that was the only place that had the super sweet recliner seats where I was at.
Okay.
And I want to watch it in 2D because I think that I missed some of the vibrancy of the color and stuff because of the 3D, and I'm really looking forward. I felt that the 3D in the movie was really, really well done, in that it was not 3D that, oh look, I'm poking a lightsaber in your face.
Oh yeah. Because I didn't see any scenes in the movie that would occur to me that were 3D. So that's good.
What I thought it did was, though, that when they were out in space, it did an amazing job of giving you a relative feel for the scale between like a Star Destroyer and a TIE Fighter.
Oh man, I wish I could see 3D. Mr. Crazy Eyes doesn't do that.
Yeah, and there was a scene also where a person was rappelling, and the sense of depth from the rappelling was just amazing. So I think that what this you can say, what everyone talks about how George, like, oh, he had this vision as a movie maker and all this kind of stuff. I think that J.J. Abrams really stepped up to the plate on this movie from a filmmaking standpoint.
Oh yeah, it was competently directed. The acting was great. The story, even I mean, let's be honest. The only problems I have with this movie are nitpicks. You can nitpick a lot of little stuff, but there's no major flaw in this movie.
No, I agree.
He definitely stepped up. The actor stepped up. I mean, it was a good movie any way you slice it.
Yep. There's no chance that you will walk out of this movie wishing one of the characters was dead. There's no Jar Jar Binks in this movie. There's no cutesy computer graphic critter scurrying along some hill somewhere as comic relief. It's not done that way. There are moments that you will laugh in this movie, and and some of them are just hysterical, but they're not that forced feel of comedy that was the original trilogy, or even the special editions.
They fit. Every comedy component fit. And I do want to say another one. Man, Harrison Ford was on top of his game.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yep. Is he a good actor?
Yeah.
And
he fit right into this character again. He feels like Han Solo, but not just Han Solo, an older Han Solo who's had 30 years more to live.
Yeah.
Since the last movie we saw.
Yep. So, we're getting close to being 8:30 here, folks, and I cannot recommend this movie highly enough. This is This is the definitive zero shots of Kraken for me.
Yeah. And the only last thing I'll say is they don't explain everything that's going on, but I think that's on purpose.
Yep.
Expect that. You don't necessarily know how this all came to be. Apparently there's a book explaining it that's well written but not very good. But they'll get to it, trust me.
Yep.
Right now in my mind it's tied for the third best Star Wars movie with Return of the Jedi, but with repeated viewings, because let's be honest, I've seen Return of the Jedi a million times, it might go higher. I feel like it might actually be better than Return of the Jedi.
I think it's better than Return of the Jedi.
But definitely zero shots of Kraken.
I think it's better than Return of the Jedi, to be honest with you, because I think that, and it's hard to remember exactly everything on Return of the Jedi that was the original. Not much I don't think got added a ton to the director's version or the special edition, but I think that that this has it doesn't have George Lucas at the helm, which I think makes a big difference and kind of vaults it ahead. There's no frickin' Ewoks singing Yub Nub. I don't know. It felt more mature of a movie.
Well, it's also an art done by a director who's actually directed something in the past 20 years. Let's be honest, Lucas, in his defense, I don't know if I want to defend him for the trilogy, he hadn't directed anything, I think, since like the first Star Wars, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
How isn't someone going to do something in their craft when already he wasn't necessarily the best director to start with? Great vision, some great ideas, not the best dialogue and directing. That's where the actors carried it. He takes like a 20-year break and then directs a movie. I mean, he was not at the top of his profession at that point.
You know, and there's something to be said that maybe there are directors out there that have one in the cylinder, and that's about it. I mean,
Yeah.
George Lucas he had his one magnum opus, and that was kind of it. And then you can make a strong argument. You look at the Wachowski siblings, and they had two. I would argue we're going to have differing opinions maybe on this, but the first Matrix and Speed Racer.
Oh no, we're not going to have different opinions at all.
Speed Racer is an amazing movie, and I don't know that I like
it's-
anything else that they've done.
V for Vendetta is amusing. I feel like they
Yeah.
did a competent job on that.
Mm. Yeah, that dead air
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
pretty much it. Yeah. The Sense8 is interesting, which is their Netflix series, but whatever. Cloud Atlas was good, but it shouldn't take 3 hours to get there.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. A lot of directors drop one movie and then like, I'm out. I
Yeah.
haven't done anything else good. I mean, sometimes it takes in anything to be the top of your profession. Sometimes it takes the right act, all the right circumstances to come up when you're going there.
And for him to have hit Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and just lightning in the bottle, to land Alec Guinness to play in that first movie. Max von Sydow, no, not Max von Sydow, but whoever the
No,
hell
Max von Sydow was in this
movie. Yeah, it was.
That's not a spoiler, people. He's on the list, and he shows up early.
Yeah, but the guy that played Grand Moff Tarkin, it was also a great character actor.
Peter Cushing.
Anyway, so there you go, folks. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, it's freaking good. Make it happen.
Yeah, you'll see it, and we'll of course update you if multiple viewings is better. I really think it's going to be because, I mean, honestly, it takes a lot to get through that first movie and be like, get past the wow factor and the critical comparison and be like, okay, let me just enjoy it now.
Yep. All right, folks. So I think we're going to draw this one to a close, John.
Absolutely, it's about that time.
It sure is. Thanks, folks, for the 10 or 11 of you. This time of the year is busy for people. You know, people are traveling and stuff like that. Thanks for making time for us on your Sunday night. On behalf of the co-host with the host, Mr. John Spencer, I'm Menoth John, and I will see you next week. We'll be back here next Sunday, and we're going to celebrate 3 years, folks. 3 years on the airwaves on Sunday. It's not quite exactly the same day as New Year's Eve, but bring it, and we'll be here for you. Bring your models to paint, and we'll have shenanigans and good times. So until then, we will see you guys next time on Painting with Menoth John. Good night, everybody.